welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division with the tournament win for the Highlands Tournament here in Golf Clash the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the button in the bottom right corner, yes please! If you do want to get some more free content, you go to golfclashtommy.com. We have for tournament and tour play, golden shot, everything. Last but not least, get your package on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, where you can get the ultimate tour and tournament text guides in our packages there. You can follow the info box on the right hand side, which I would recommend. You can find the club distance adjustment, which is, you know, mid max, and also the elevation adjustment for every shot I take in this playthrough. Also what type of ball and club type I do suggest you to play with. You don't have to follow my suggestions, but there's always a plan with it. I'm trying to have this playthrough with free-to-play balls. That's at least my goal, but I would say that those of you that do want to use a special ball in some sort, you know, with more wind resistance or more power, feel free to do so. But have in mind that if I suggest a power 3 ball, especially on a par 3, using a power 1 or a power 2 or a power 4 will slightly change your adjustment. And then it's better to ask if you do want to know what type of adjustment you should do instead. There you can email support@golfclashtommy.com or comment in the comment section below. Thumbs up! Can we get to 200? That would be amazing, and I would be very, very thankful. Again guys, let's freaking go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're going to look to play for with the quarterback and a kingmaker. We're using 2.5 bar backspin, 3 bars of side spin to the left. Now we're looking for the top left of the red ring by the rough line completely, with the ball guideline going through the hole. Now when it's time to adjust, we're going to attempt to have a slight 1201, meaning that I want the needle to not in any form go from center left. I do want it to have center right if I would favor any side. Medium distance with a 15% over adjustment, and then obviously it's all about hitting perfect. Perfect ball is what we do get here, and now you will see that we do clip rough nicely, second bounce just before the fringe as we want to, and ball just roll right at pin and in for an hole-in-one. So quarterback, kingmaker, medium distance plus 15. Those of you that are able to play with a centurion, that's not bad at all. But I do think we could decide to actually, you know, save our centurions here, as those balls should be very, very valuable on other occasions in this game. For hole number 2, we are going for green, and here I would strongly recommend you to play with the driver that gives you the most power and topspin together. 6 bars of topspin would be lovely. I understand that not everyone is having that, and I'm gonna talk about that in just a bit. Add the spin, and then you stretch out your target to see the second bounce to be aligned with the bushes to the right, and also kind of halfway through the rough compared to, you know, if you measure between the bunker and also the fringe. Once you have adjusted maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment, then you will have to push up the amount of rings that is needed. And how do you know how many rings that you need? That you know by you stretching out to finding the position that we were looking for as a start. So if we stretch out to see the second bounce into the rough at the spot we want to, and it then shows that we are 4 rings into overpower, okay? That means that we will then push up 4 rings after our adjustment. A way to get away from that is to use a berserker ball. In that way, you can, with a 240-yard driver, stay away from having to push up anything, and you can just do a normal shot. But for basically every driver, you do need to do that. And I do think there is a great value in playing with a kingmaker here to reduce the wind and give yourself a much easier time to adjust. Maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment is what we are going to use. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute must eagle. For hole number 3, we are going to use the driver that gives us the most power possible. In this case, Apocalypse level 5, but this drive is obviously possible to adapt to when we play with an extra mile, Thor's hammer, or any other driver than that. Here with Apocalypse level 5, I do go back to +8, having the ball guideline to be just there by the edge of the rough. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 30% over adjustment. And once adjusted that, if we do have room to go up to max, I would suggest you to push up to max, even though I don't do it here. But we do want to gain as much distance possible here without obviously endangering going into the rough. Unfortunately, a great right, but a great right is going to still be fine, and we're looking to get a drive that is 360 yards or more. 359 or below is going to be very difficult, as we're gonna be in a very maxed out position with our sniper. In the end as well, it's not wrong to use a little bit of overpower, especially with drivers that do not have 240 yards in power. Now, second shot, you will see me playing this one with a little bit of backspin, trying to just bounce over the rough. Because, frankly, even though if I would be pushing my drive with a power 4 ball or a power 5 ball, I'm gonna have to push my drive very hard to get into a position where I can reach for the rough bump with my sniper. So, therefore, I do decide to instead play a more conservative drive, trying to get to the same distance, and then play with half a bar of backspin to 1 bar of backspin, ball guideline to the hole. And now I do adjust maximum distance +20, but I would like you to play with maximum distance +30. Not because I do believe that's the the correct elevation in the overall, but it's going to help you when it comes to compensating for the secondary bounce. So for the second bounce, then we're gonna have an effect. The ball is going to be pushed way more right. So therefore we need that extra adjustment to compensate for that. So we aim for the hole, max +30, then you're gonna be very close for an albatross. For hole number 4, we're gonna play an aggressive drive. Here I do have the extra mile level 9, but I will play it as to be as a driver that you have 6 bars of topspin, Apocalypse level 5 or below, or an extra mile level 8 or a Thor's hammer level 5, a driver like that, instead of maximum topspin, and then just apply it for very few amount of drivers. I do stretch out to max to find the yellow ring by the bunker to the left, and then I do adjust from max +10, and then I push up to max overpower, and I'm looking to have approximately 1 ball of curl. The curl is not, what can I say, it's not super important to have the exact same amount of curl all the time. It's better to have more than to have less curl to the left, because if we do hit a bad grade to the right, especially with a lower accuracy club, then the problem is going to be that we clip the rough and roll out on the right, and then we're going to find ourselves in a spot that we do not like at all. Because when we do make the drive like we're doing now, or we hit great left or we hit perfect, then we're gonna be very close to the green. And now we're gonna play uphill. And here, first and foremost, I will show you the position where you can use, and you can basically just bounce it to pin if you feel more comfortable with that. For myself, I do feel more comfortable going for a dunk. And here I'm going to play this one medium distance -20%. Okay? So I aim for the back end of the cup, and then have max backspin to make sure that if I miss, I'm still gonna have the backspin to make the ball stop on green. So I adjust medium distance -20%, and then it's time to hit perfect. And here you have the reason why we play uphill. Look how you can see that hill there, where that hill is so high up that it makes this shot uphill. So the closer you are to the green, the more uphill the shot is going to be. But -20% is an elevation I've been using for a long time by playing this course many times in tour play, which works really well. And once again, if you don't feel comfortable with the dunk, you apply the position that I showed you with backspin, aim for the pin, and just do a normal shot. But for those of us that do feel that dunking is a good alternative, that's gonna be a very good thing to use. A thorn, very important, as otherwise if you miss, you will go over the green. So thorn with its backspin is super important if you're gonna go for the dunk. For hole number 5, we're gonna play on the left hand side. Believe me, I've tried so many times now trying to cross over that water and the sand, and there is not really a reward of trying to do that shot that is worth talking about. I will talk a little bit about it in the end though. Red ring by the rough line aligned with the brown tree on the right. 4.5 bar topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right, and using 4.5 bar topspin means that you can use a very low level driver to apply the same type of shot here. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment is what I'm going for, and a great right and a great left will be safe, but obviously it's recommended to hit perfect. Now we're looking for the ball to get as close to the rough there as possible, and sometimes you will get the ball to roll out nicely after the drive, sometimes you will get those dead bounces as you can see we got here. Now second shot, I'm gonna play with my sniper, and now I'm going to try to get myself up to the top corner of the green to have the ball fall down towards the pin. The reason I do go with a shot like that is most especially because I do have sniper 10, so I do have a lot of distance already from the start, and also that the wind coming left to right makes it very simple, not simple, it makes it easier for me to get the ball out there without using that much curl. Adjustment max plus nothing, so max with no elevation whatsoever, bounce on the fairway, and we are a little bit short here. If we would be using the 3 bars of topspin there, we would definitely be rolling in nicely, but you can see the trick here. We get it up and we let the ball fall down towards the pin. Speed wise, we do have the speed, but we need to get the ball to roll in a little bit more there. A Titan is possible, but side spin 3 is super valuable, especially for the second shot. Very tough par 5, making anything else than an eagle at, and you know, an albatross here will be very rare. So make sure you play a way that you're not risking too much, because that is what we do if we do try to cross over the water and the sand. And in the end, if you do feel comfortable with a route like that, then do so. I'm not saying that it's impossible to reach over. I'm just saying that you consistently won't get over to a situation where the reward is enough for me to suggest that as a route here in this playthrough. So I go left, I take my chances from that side and go for an albatross that way. For hole number 6, our focus is going to be by playing with a power 3, win 3 or better ball. And therefore I can play with the mummy ball here, which has win 3, power 4. And here our focus should be the plus 6 yard mark. But first we add spin. 1 bar of right side spin, 0.2 bars of back spin, and now we're going to look for, you see that the ball guideline go towards the pin there. We're gonna back up a little bit because we want it to be just before it turns into a ball guideline rolling onto the green. So just before that happens is where we want to be with the blue ring by the rough line plus 6 yard mark. Now we do favor 11.59 with our pull, and we play maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. Perfect ball. And then we're gonna see this ball bounce nicely on the fairway, coming up here onto the green, and then it's going to catch the slope and roll nicely right at pin for a beautiful hole-in-one. For hole number 7, we are going to look for the blue ring by the rough line, also having the shadow pointing just in the, in the middle of the side there of the blue ring. Now I'm using 4 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right, and the ball guideline looks really weird. But we are going to try to compensate for that by using curl. And I'm not really thrilled about using curl on par 3s, but I do really feel that we do benefit from keeping the same landing position as shown here. And now it's only about to get the correct curl. Medium distance with a 20% over adjustment, and I'm using approximately 3/4 of a ball outside the adjustment ring to the right. We do hit the fairway as we want to, but we do not have the speed that we need to in this case. I would say that the curl is okay. 3/4 of a ball is fine, but we do need to add a little bit more topspin, and that's going to take us up to, at least in my opinion, 4.5 or maybe even to 5 bars. And then we maybe are in a stretch situation based on, should we play with a quarterback, as we kind of rely on playing quarterback level 10, etc. So this is definitely worth a thought. But in the end, if we do catch that roll in the way that we should be doing here on this NASCAR hole, this is a very good chance for an hole-in-one. Medium distance plus 20, add a little bit of topspin, then you're gonna be fine. For hole number 8, I am unfortunately going to show you a bad drive, but I've hit great on this hole every time on 5 tries. And eventually we're gonna have to choose a shot that I'm going to make a voiceover on. I wanted to say that directly, so I'm not going to try to convince you that this bad great left with the big topper is going to be well. But we're gonna take a look at this shot twice, because there is many valuable things here that we can learn from and something that we do need to adapt. First and foremost, use the driver with the most topspin. So if that's going to be the big topper, or if that's going to be the Apocalypse or the Thor's hammer, I would go by the big topper route. But at the same time, if you do play with a big topper level 4 or below, the power on that big topper is not going to be that good, which in the end would make sense then to play with an Apocalypse or a Thor's hammer that you have at least 8 bars of topspin, which is Apoc 7 or Thor's hammer level 7. I do believe it's going to be there. I do decide to use a wind resistance ball here, a power 3, wind 4, because that's all that is needed here. We can play with a Kingmaker as well, and we will be able to come through with a good way. Here, I want you to focus on one thing when we do add the spin. No matter what driver you're having, that is the second bounce. And now you can see that I have my second bounce halfway through the rough towards the sand. And obviously that's going to be okay if we do hit a perfect ball. But to be able to cope with a great left, I would suggest you to use the second bounce to be just into the rough. Not halfway through, just into the rough. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 30% over adjustment, and the plan is to have a first bounce on the fairway, second bounce on the fairway to go over the rough and the sand, and then roll towards the green. There is 2 things that can happen with that if you make the drive correct, and not like I'm doing here in this example. That is that 1, you will roll into a very nice short wedge, which you're not gonna miss in a million days. Or that you clip the rough on the other side and roll out, and will have kind of like a medium wedge to pin. And if you do have that medium wedge, that's going to be a very difficult one to drop, but you need to really focus and get that one, because this hole is, whether we like it or not, is going to be an eagle hole. Max plus 30, use the driver with the most topspin possible, and then we do have a good chance making an eagle here. But make sure to hit perfect if you play with a big topper, and don't hit great left. Hole number 9, we're gonna play on the left hand side here, using 6 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right. We can use less topspin if we want to, but I do think 6 bars is actually perfect here. But the reason I want to mention that you can use less bars is because you can use a lower level driver than what you do see in this playthrough. First and foremost, once we have added spin and found our position, we do adjust maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, which in this case will be 5.5 rings. And now we're going to take our shot, and we're not going to use any curl whatsoever, as the wind is going to, together with the side spin, push our ball enough to the right that we don't need to use any curl. For those that are very, that hit great left often, I would recommend you to use a tad of curl to the right, but as a general rule here for this drive with this type of wind, we definitely don't need any curl. Second shot, we are going to play with a sniper in somewhat medium to maximum distance. I've added maximum distance in the info box to also apply the katana ball as a choice for the ball from the start. Because we do have tailwind, and we do have a sniper in a high level, short sniper in a lower level will have less distance, but in the end, I do think we're gonna play somewhere between medium to maximum distance, and I do feel it's something that you need to judge every time it's your turn to take the second shot. So I adjust for the pin, at least that's my goal, using 1 to 2 bars of side spin. When the wind comes left to right, I do not believe that 3 bars of side spin to the right is necessary, as the wind will be pushing the ball to the right and help us a little bit. So 1 to 2 bars of side spin to the right, try to, you know, eyeball the way the ball guideline is towards the pin there, and it's going to be a good chance, in my opinion, making an albatross. There is also ways, if you are going to use power 4, power 5 balls, where you might can find yourself for a rough bump opportunity. Those, what I have seen so far, you know, isn't really close, but it's definitely something that might be something to look into if you feel that you can spend some better balls and don't want to play just free to play. So in the end, we end up with hole number 9, which is a decent chance for an albatross. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Expert with the tournament win here for the Highlands Tournament in Golf Clash the game. And before we end it up completely, don't forget to get your package on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. And also, you know, if you do have any questions, email support@golfclashtommy.com. We are here to help. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Once again, thank you for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.